Let me bring this down. What's the point? Here you go. You got a virgin. She's 6'6", right? She got some challenges, right? It's a challenge to be in a sexual marketplace, but at the same time, the whole point of the sexual marketplace is when people are looking to sexually select, and that is off the table. It's going to be hard for you to sexually select at that point, right? Or it's going to be hard for people to sexually select you when sex is not an issue on the table, right? You're going to have to go through a whole different crowd of men to find men that's going to look at you and say, I respect the fact that you are a virgin. But that group, see, here's the problem. That group of men is not attractive. The group of the men that are out there having sex, they're attractive, right? Why? Because they gotta be. They gotta be, because they are keeping themselves in an attractive state so they can attract females so they can have sex with them. Guys that's not concerned about sex, why do they need to keep themselves be in an attractive state when they're not sex is not the big deal to them? So they're not going to be as attractive. See, that's the dichotomy there. How am I coming across now, y'all? Am I back? Hopefully I'm back. Let me see if I'm back, y'all. Let me see if I'm back. Hopefully I'm back, y'all. I'm back. Okay, good. All right. Okay, thank you, Anderson. Appreciate you. Thank you, Sister Annie. They take you down, man, when you start playing stuff and you start telling the truth. They take you down, right? Well, hey, man, thank you, Pagoda. So if we start telling the truth around here, man, we got some issues, man. We got some problems, right? But the point is, y'all, don't manipulate nobody, man. Don't let them think one thing just because you say to yourself, I'm not going to say nothing about this. Now, of course, y'all, I'm not telling you to go out there and on the first date, give them your social security number, your bank account statements and all that. I'm not telling you give that kind of stuff away. That's no. But stuff that's critical that might influence a person on why they even dating you. Yeah, they should know that up front, right? That's like me. I'm out here in the dating market, right? I find this sister, man, and I hook up with her, man, and I say, man, she's a good sister, man. She talking right. Everything's cool, right? I go out with her a couple of times, but I'm not pushing sex. You know what I mean? At least I'm not. I've done so many things. I don't need to push no sex, man. Pretty much a lot of stuff I don't need. And I prefer at this point in life to have a good relationship with a person, and then I know the sex will come after that, right? So, but anyway, somebody like me, I might go out on 3 or 4 dates, not say nothing about getting sexual with somebody. Not even, because that's not the most important thing to me. I know at some point it'll come, right? Either she's gonna tell me, "Hey, look, I want to be monogamous with you, because I want to be in a sexual relationship with you." Okay, at that point, we can start talking shop. But until then, I'm just gonna assume you having sex with somebody, right? That's not my main goal. And I've had so much sex that I'm good. I would like to continue to have good sex, but I mean, that's not my motivating factor. My motivating factor is finding somebody who I can relate to, who I can develop a relationship with. That's me. I know most men are not like that. Most men are looking for a woman that's that can just have sex with in the dating market. But if I go out with this chick, I go out with her and we go out and have a good time, go to movies, go ice skating or whatever, right? Whatever you do just to have fun, spend time with somebody. I take her out about 4 or 5 dates. And on the 5th date, She said, I want to talk to you, Clarence. I said, what's going on? She said, I want to know, how come you haven't asked me nothing about sex? I said, because I'm not really, I'm not really interested in that. Well, as I say, I'm not interested. Let me rephrase that. That's not my big driving factor of why I'm dating, is for sex. Most guys are. Their driving factor is to have sex. I'm not here to, I'm not, that's not my motivating factor. My motivating factor is to find somebody who I can get along with, who I can, we can be each other's yin and yang, and they have enough femininity to pull out enough masculinity in me, and I have enough masculinity to drive the femininity in her. I mean, we just a good match for each other, right? We help each other, we can build each other, we can build each other up. You know what I mean? That's what I would be looking for, right? Anyways, just say, hey man, Clarence, how come you never asked me about being sexual? That's odd. Usually men I go out with, they usually want to have sex right away, and I have to have a conversation with them. I said, well, I'm different, right? So sister say, well, I'm a lesbian, right? I go, no, I didn't know that you was a lesbian. Yeah, you're a lesbian. Yeah, I'm a lesbian. So sex with me ain't gonna happen. But I appreciate all these dinners you done took me out to, all the stuff I had a good time. I had fun. I said, I had fun too. I had fun too. But unfortunately, it had to come to an end. Why? Because we ain't having sex? No, the fact that you're a lesbian, I don't want to be dating a lesbian. That's the issue. Even if we start having sex, I don't want to date a lesbian. I think if you're a lesbian, you should date women, right? That's what a lesbian does, dates women, right? I don't want somebody that's dating men and women. I don't want somebody to. I want somebody that's dating just me. I know that's odd, but that's what I want. But when should she tell me she's a lesbian? After I done took her to all these things, she tell me, oh, I want to see this movie, right? And I'm her friend, right? I'm taking her out. I don't only be a friend if that's what I want, right? I don't want to be manipulated into being a friend, right? If I want to be your friend as a female, I want to be your friend because I want to be your friend, not because you manipulated me to taking you out and taking you to do this and taking you to no. Because I'm telling you, as a man, you want to be, you can have fun with a female, you can have fun with a female, but you don't want to be too friendly. You don't want to be too much of her friend, like one of her girlfriends. You don't want to be in that situation, right? You want her to have a healthy respect for you as a man. But sometimes, if you get too friendly, you're gonna unfortunately put yourself in a situation where you're going to be the recipient of this conversation. Oh man, my ex-boyfriend, my ex-husband, oh my God. Let me tell you about his penis. Oh my God. Right? You're sitting there like this, like twiddling your thumbs. Do you really want to hear that conversation? I don't want to hear that conversation. I really don't. Maybe down the road, right? Maybe down the road, you want to tell me a little bit more about your ex-husband and what happened and how things didn't work out, and maybe it was a sexual thing or whatever. Okay, maybe down the road. Maybe down the road. I mean, if we're if we're trying to have a romantic relationship, in a friendship, there's only so much information I need. Because maybe you're just a fun person to go out with and hang out with, right? I'm not trying to have sex with you. I'm just enjoying spending time with somebody who's fun. Some people are just fun, y'all, but they're not good relationship people, but they're fun. You can go out with them and have a good time, right? Men are not usually like that. Men, I would say 98% of men that are going out on dates are going out on dates in search of casual sex. And if casual sex is something that's not on the table, they need to know right away. Oh man, sorry to hear that, Pagoda. Yeah, but they need to know right away. Men need to know right away. Hey, sex is not something that you can even contemplate. Okay. Are we still going out? No. Then the other guy go, no. And then the female actually get mad, right? She'll actually get mad and say, what do you mean we're not going out? Now that I'm telling you I'm a virgin and I want to stay a virgin until I get married? What kind of character have you got? Got good character. There's another video, man, I'm going to play. I should play it, where the dude says, I don't want to date single moms. What's wrong with that? I don't want to date single moms. What's wrong with a dude saying, my preference is women that don't have children already? What would be? Because I don't see nothing wrong with a woman saying, I don't want to date a single dad. I don't want to date a single dad. I want to date somebody who doesn't have children yet. What's wrong with that? Everybody should be able to chase their preference, right? In my opinion. But now they got a dude out here telling women, hey, I don't want to date you because you're a single mom. And he goes, I'm a high value man, so that's why I don't want to date nobody that's a single mom. Well, whatever your reason, that's your reason, right? Just like a sister, man. I don't want to date nobody that makes under this amount of money. Well, whatever your reason is, that's your reason. I'm glad if you told me, hey, I wouldn't want to date somebody that's making less than $150,000. Okay. I'm definitely not on that list. Okay. At this point in the game. Okay, cool. That's not a problem, man. See, we too sensitive, man, as people. When people have a preference, they should be allowed to have a preference. It shouldn't be like, oh, well, you are wrong for having a preference. Why am I wrong for preferring a woman with no children? That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, here it is. Hi, let's talk to Better Black Life. Due to a copyright match, your stream was interrupted. Video title, Paycheck to Paycheck, an American Tradition, 8 Steps to Freedom, 6'6" female virgin dating role. Streams are interrupted when copyright content is detected. After copyright material is no longer being streamed, streams are automatically re-enabled. Sincerely, the YouTube team. At least they sent me something this time, right? At least they sent me something this time, man. Well, the last time they just got it. They just yanked it, right? They just yanked everything from me, man. I was like, oh man, what the hell, man? What the heezy? I'm like, man, but as long as at least they give me a little they give me a what do you call that, some info, and they tell me what happened. I can respect that, right? I can respect that. All right. Home team, all the home team, check your email, home team. Check your email and see if you got the link. All right, I'm about to put the link out maybe after this next story. But anyway, yeah. So that was a virgin, right? Let me see if I can get something else in here real quick, man. Let me see if I can get something else. Let me see. Okay. Oh, yeah, no, I don't want to take it from there. Let's get it here. We're gonna keep on trucking, y'all. We're gonna keep on trucking. All right, let's see if we can keep on trucking in this situation, y'all. Okay, here's a brother saying, hey, I'm a high value man. I am not going to date no single moms.
Off was when I asked that question about would you date a single mother?
Nope.
And Jacoby, you proceeded to tell me that basically you're a high value man and you are too good for a single mother.
Yes.
However, you did also tell me that you were raised by a single mother, which is profound for me to think that a single mother's not good enough for you, but it's good enough for a woman to raise you. That's unfair.
Oh, that
And it's very
extra shit.
insensitive to women out there who have children.
All right, so just because it's a cycle, I wanted to.
Cincinnati,
Hey.
what is going on, girl?
Oh yeah. This might be my dating show.
Oh man, I got your dating shows up here now. Well, let me ask you something, Sister Annie. I'm glad you came up here. Do you think that, do you agree with me, or do you think you have a difference of opinion on how she should have approached that whole virgin thing? Hold on, Pagoda. The link right now is only just for the home team. I'm going to put the link out after I discuss this other issue.
So, okay. So that was their first date. What I'm not really clear on is, did they have conversations before? Like how many conversations did they have before the actual first date? I do agree with you that there's some information that you want to make sure that you get out there at the beginning. Like that's something that I would have shared very early on in the conversation, because I know that, most men are going to be expecting, to lay with me, right? Correct. So if I'm not honest with them at the beginning, and some men, they see that also as a challenge too. They think, oh yeah, she thinks she's not going to do it, but I'm gonna, but that's on them. But it's not that I haven't shared that information with you. Now I'll tell you, like a lot of times, some people that I just, just kind of talk to or whatever, and they kind of know where I am from a relationship standpoint, but they've always told me or said that I share too much. Now I don't, there's some things that I don't talk about, because really until we're in a really full vested relationship, it's none of your business. But my thought was always, I don't want to string somebody along, and I want to be able to, I don't see rejection as a bad thing, So like if something that I share with a guy, he sees as something that, that's less than attractive to me, or, no, I don't want to, spend more time with you because you don't do this thing or you do this thing. I think that they have a right to not want to be around somebody that doesn't do something or does something that they like. So no, I agree with you. I think that knowing sooner rather than later is best, not just for me, but for them also. Because any guy that I'm going to be spending any time with, even if it's not something that, builds into something long lasting, I care enough about you to at least spend a few minutes with you, outside of a group setting. So if I care enough to just say, hey, let me see about spending some isolated time with you, I care enough about your feelings. So I totally agree with you. I agree.
Yeah. And you said it perfect. You said it perfect. You said, I believe people should have a right to their preference, even when I'm not their preference, even if when I'm not it, right? Because they should have the right to their preference, no matter what their preference is, right? For whatever their reasons are. Some of our people have preferences that are out of this world, right? And there's somebody out there that can match that energy to make it work, right? Their issue is to find that person, right? But my thing is, here's the problem, sis. If we out here and we're we holding back this information, we hurting each other, right? In my opinion, we hurting each other because we feel slighted, right? You go out with a man and you told the man up front the first conversation, hey, look, I don't mind going out with you, but I'm just gonna tell you, be transparent with you that I'm really looking to try to find someone who I could share my life with, just that person. That's what I'm looking for. The person heard you say that and instead of saying, I'm not looking for that, you don't say nothing. Right? He got a
Mhm.
wife and a kid and everything else, right? But he don't say that, right? And then 5 dates down the line, you find out that he got a wife and a kid. You go, why you didn't set it up front? Well, I wanted you to get to know me first, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
It's like it doesn't matter that I know you. You're not available, right? So you don't have no availability for what I'm looking for. So why would we even spend these time on these dates? I could have been spending time with some other person that was actually interested in what I'm talking about.
Mhm. Now I'm gonna tell you. So, gosh, you always be trying to you bring out all my real life stories, right? Um, I had this friend, and we both, maybe had some feelings, maybe not enough to like really pursue something, but we had feelings for each other, and we talked a lot, and he went through like this really heavy thing in his life. And, I told him, I said, hey, if you want to, because, like when somebody passes, people automatically feel like they're supposed to react a certain way. Either they're supposed to show this outward emotion or whatever. And I wasn't liking that people were trying to force him to like cry and stuff like that. So I told him, I said, hey, if you need to come over, come over. And he came over and we did kiss. Oops. Okay. So now now there's like
I
these
thought you was perfect,
feelings,
Sister
and
Annie.
now
I
these
thought you was perfect, Sister Annie. Wait a
I
minute, what happened?
know. So now I have these feelings. Now they're attached to some sensual thing, that
Obviously,
I actually enjoy.
obviously.
So then I come to find out that he has a girlfriend. Now we've been friends for a while, and listen, I still think highly of him. Sometimes people just get sloppy and how they should handle stuff.
Yeah,
Um, but what I told him was, I said, you didn't give me the space to decide if I was okay with just doing that. You know what I'm
correct.
saying? Now I have to comb through my feelings because now I got to push them to the side because that's not something that I'm okay with. So
Right,
it would have been fair for him, like you said, let me know that up front. Let me know
right.
that up front. And then that way I can make a decision. So he took that decision away from me. And then I gotta nurse my feelings back to good health.
Yes.
Because I
Yeah,
didn't
right,
know. And you can't just because you find out that someone's in a relationship, it doesn't mean now that your feelings have just disappeared. They're still
right,
there. So you have to do something with them. So
right,
I had to figure out what to do with them and, you know, push them away. So
right.
no, I totally agree. I agree.
Yeah. And see, and so to me, now I was talking about, my question was, why is she single? Is she single because she's 6'6"? Is she single because she's a virgin? But my issue is, I think she's single because she's manipulating people. If you're gonna be upfront, now I understand why she's doing it, but I don't. But that's not gonna help, right? I understand she
Mm-hmm.
probably been. So many guys have probably said, "Oh, that's what you a virgin and you're not trying to have sex." Boom, I'm gone, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you have to understand the dating market, and you have to understand what men are looking for, so that you can, because we have to be grown up here, so that you
Mm-hmm.
can find somebody that fits what you want. But the guys that will be okay with her not being a virgin, I mean, with her being a virgin, they ain't attractive, right? The guys that are attractive are out there thinking that they're going to be having sex, right? That's why they keep themselves, they build themselves up. They keep themselves, try to be attractive, shave, do everything
Mm-hmm.
right, try to keep themselves attractive, because they want to attract females that's going to have casual sex with them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
knowing that, knowing that at 36, I think she said she's 36. At 36, should know that by now. So there's no point in manipulating people, and that's why I think her issue was. I know she wanted to say it was because she's 6'6" or she's a virgin, but in my opinion, I'm gonna ask
Mm-hmm.
you your opinion. But in my
Okay.
opinion, it had mostly to do with the fact that she's withholding information like that from the guys, and the guys see that as untrustworthy. What is your interpretation of what happened out there?
Well, so like I just think about, okay, she's 6'6". In my head, I'm trying to like trying to stand up and see like how that how she gave this to me. But so I'm just thinking, so like women that are shorter are, or this is what I've heard men be attracted to the thought of a short woman often. Oh, I could just throw her up here and move around or whatever, right? So that's a little more attractive to guys than someone that's really, really tall.
Men
So
love short women.
no, but no, what I'm saying is, yeah, so see, just even how you said that,
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard in conversations where I've had with guys where they've had the same kind of like, a tall woman. I don't really hear that, right? So most tall guys, you're thinking, if this stereotype is like, NBA or basketball players. So she probably doesn't get approached a whole lot, right?
Agreed.
So she's not getting approached a whole lot, and she has this conviction about how she's gonna give of herself. I'm thinking sometimes it's like when you kind of are not approached a lot, and you kind of have this desire, because you want to, as a woman, you want to feel sexy, you want to feel desired,
Of course.
and she may not get that intentional display of attraction from a guy too often. So some part of her wants to, kind of gently say something, oh, this is sexy, because she kind of wants, she may be missing a lot of attention that some other women, shorter women or women of average height, receive more naturally. So because of that, some part of her wants to like maybe just sprinkle a little bit of just sprinkle a little bit of her sensuality out there, not realizing that it can be seen as deceiving or manipulative. But she just, as a woman, just needs to feel that sometimes. So I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying that we all want to feel desired as a woman. We want to feel like when men talk about, femininity, we want to not just display it in how we dress. We also want to see it from men. So I can understand her sprinkling that at times and it becoming misread. But that's when I saw that little scene, that's what it looked like to me. She was trying to put out just enough to satisfy a void in herself, and at the same time not be too forward or too misleading. Now, like I said, I don't know what conversations they had before that date, but me personally, I probably would not have thought to, on a first date, if that's the first date we had, speak and tell a guy to say, well, I'm not right now in the my conviction is where I'm not going to be laying with a man right now. I don't know if I would have said that on the first date. Like, I actually would have just wanted to enjoy being with a guy. Like, I haven't dated in a long time. Good Lord. But I, oh, help me, Lord. But I really, I don't want the first date to be too heavy. Like, I love physical activity. Like, I'm looking into taking some Krav Maga classes. Like, I like physical, type dates, or like really calm dates. So a guy may see me wanting to, like, I might say, hey, you want to go take a class? And he may see that as something sensual or some kickboxing or something, because I like being physical. I'm wanting to make sure that I have that kind of date so that he knows these are the kind of activities that I like. So it's not surprising him, if we do decide to move forward. So I'm sorry if I rambled, but I understood a little bit. I don't know her. I don't know her life, but I can just imagine. I can't imagine what it must be like to be 6'6", and what men approach her at 6'6". Is there a big pool of men that's going after a woman that's 6'6"?
Not a lot of men. I'd agree with you on that. Not a lot of men would be chasing down that road, but she could definitely do some things to kind of help her chances. You know what I mean? One of the things you can do is, like I said, the femininity. Right now, do you have to be ultra super feminine? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you got to be feminine enough where the man feels like he's his masculinity is being received and accepted as it's coming, right? So that's what I mean by that, because some people can mistakenly think that when you say you need to have femininity, some men make the mistake of putting it in a way where it seems like you gotta, just be kind of like almost like a gay man, right? Just ultra feminine, like ultra, and you don't have to do that. All you have to do is be in a place where a man that's with you, because if you with a man, you want to feel like a woman, right? Well, if a man's with you, he wants to feel like a man, right? So that's where that happens, where your femininity is going to bring the masculinity out in him. If you know how to do that, right? And I think that's one thing that could have helped her, is if she was more into bringing out the masculinity in the man, as because she told her friends, hey, I'm down with letting somebody, work on me. I'm just not working on them, right? So who's gonna want that? Who's gonna want to sign that contract, right? Who's gonna
wait? I missed that part. I'm sorry, I missed that.
That was in the beginning. That was in the beginning. I don't know if I might not have even played that part, but in the beginning, when she first meets up with her friends in the bar, she's telling her friends, "Hey, look, I don't have no problem with somebody working on me. I'm just not gonna work on them."
See, now that's not cool. No, I don't like that.
Well, I mean, obviously nobody's gonna sign up for that. Not a lot of people gonna sign up for that contract. And even if somebody does, they're probably not gonna hang around too long, right? But my point is, there's things I feel like she could have done. Like, number one, I don't care if her sister is 9 feet tall. A man is gonna see her from across the room based on how she displays herself as a female and her femininity and how she moves as a female, right? That's what's going to attract him to her, not her height. Her height, see, her being that tall, and then on top of that, not how can I say it? Not creating sexual tension in a competitive environment, right? The sexual marketplace is a competitive environment. How do you know that, Clarence? Because beauty products are flying off the shelves. Why are beauty products flying off the shelves, Clarence? Because these women are competing with each other. And one will get this length of eyelashes, and another one get that length of eyelashes, and another one get this weave, another one get that weave, another one get this wig, another one get the. I mean, it's all kind of beauty products to help women compete with each other, right? So obviously, it's a competitive environment. So now the question becomes, are you competing? Are you making yourself competitive? That's the question.
Right.
If you're not making yourself competitive, then you can't put it on the fact that, I'm 6'6", when there's things that you could do. Like, for example, if you saw when she walked in, she was 6'6", and then she had some 2 or 3 inch heels on. So now she's 6'9". Which I think the average man is not going to have a problem with if you move in a certain way. But if they feel like, especially guys in the dating market, they're there for, most of them are there for one reason. They're not looking for wives. They're looking for people to have casual sex with. And if you're not in the marketplace to have casual sex, right? That's you see what I'm saying? So she could have, if she just be upfront with people, and at the same time that, express that femininity, or express to men, see, because there's ways that wives move, potential wives move a certain way. So guys looking for that gonna see it, right? They're gonna say, "Uh-oh, that's her." Right? This the woman I've been looking for. Right? And then they sit down and talk to you. Are you out there in the streets? No, I'm not on the street. I ain't in those streets. Oh man, maybe I got something here. Right? You think, well, how do you think a relationship should go? Well, I think it should go, everybody should respect everybody, and everybody should treat everybody loving. And we shouldn't, try to get over on each other. She talking right. Right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying there's things that she could do to have it to where, because I don't think a lot of women, but you guys ain't getting taught this nowhere. But
Mhm.
men that are looking for wives are different than men that are looking for casual sex. Those are two different camps, right?
Mhm.
But what do a lot of women do? They try to pull a husband out of the wrong camp, right? They try to put a serious relationship out of somebody in the wrong camp,
Mhm.
right? No, you got to look for the right people in the right camp. So another thing she could be doing is going places where men looking for wives are at. Church, the temple, maybe like you said, cooking classes.
Mhm.
They might be at different events, right? Uh, Autism walk, walk for cancer, whatever, right? They might be in things that you got to have a belief system to be involved
Mhm.
in, right? They might be at events like that. But see, that's the thing. Those kind of guys ain't attractive. So this is what I'm saying, Sister Annie. There's things that she, in my opinion, could do to bump up her chances to meet quality dudes. Quality
Well,
dudes.
and I get what you're saying. I just think that, no, I think that with her height, it could have challenges even in those spaces. I think that,
Agreed.
like I said, I've heard many guys, like, I know sometimes they'll ask me my height, and you can just, it's this thought process. They, gauging their height and my height and what you can do with that difference, you know what I'm saying, in these sensual spaces or whatever. And
Correct.
I'm just thinking for her, or for women with heights like that. I just think that it may be some challenges that we just don't recognize. And I'm just thinking about myself sometimes, like, when you're wanting a guy to, and you to listen, yeah, you should feel, sensual or sexy yourself. But when a guy says certain things or behaves certain ways when they see you, it's flattering, it feels good. And, you know, there could be a desire that she has for that feeling that she doesn't really have met too often. And because of that, sometimes, like I said, I'm not saying that it's right. I just think that sometimes when you don't get fed something a lot, you kind of start preparing it yourself a little bit and letting the aroma kind of lure somebody in a little bit. But you don't really want to have you want to close the kitchen down once they smell it.
There you go. There you go. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I
Right.
said, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying that as a woman, you want to feel desire. You want to feel like
Of
someone
course.
is attracted to you. And
Of course.
and
Men too.
to me, at least in that little bit of space, I don't know how heavily convicted. Like I said, I didn't hear what you said. She said that's kind of like, well, how are you letting him? How is he doing something? There's a whole lot of revealing that's happening. So you think that this man just supposed to have the power of not wanting something himself? Like, that's not fair. That's not
Yeah.
fair. I would not ever expect a guy to serve me and me not know that he's expecting something back from
The
me.
kitchen's closed. No, right. No. Right. God be like, I would never came here if I know that the kitchen was closed. Right. But see, it's like you got to be and that's another point that I'm making, is that we got to be upfront and honest with each other, on some basic information. Maybe not, you ain't got to give away your social security number or nothing like that, but I mean some basic information. And shout out to Jill's Chocolate Boutique, by the way. Shout out to Sam, by the way. So we got to be upfront and honest, because guess what? Like you said, the feelings will get involved. Now, as far as her being 6'6", easy for go to. Hold on, I got a whole another topic I got to get to. Hold on. As far as her being 6'6",
Well, we go to.
yeah, as far as her being 6'6", I don't think that was a major issue. I think the major issue is the way she carries herself. She carries herself like see, there's a way that a woman can carry herself. A woman can carry herself in a way that you can see a benefit in being with her, right? You can see benefits. Now, you know, and please, sisters, I know y'all might, some of y'all might get mad with me with this, but this is just the truth. This is how men look at it. There's always going to be a challenge no matter what sister you with. I don't care how nice she is, how good she is, how fun she is. There's always a twist in the ointment somewhere, right? So men look at it like this. Is this woman worth it? How do I measure if this woman is worth the twist that's going to come with her? Because I don't care if you don't see it now, you'll see it later. Somewhere there's a twist. Just like men. Somewhere there's a twist somewhere, right? Eventually you got to decide, evaluate whether, hey, is this man worth all of this energy that I'm putting out, right? So what men do is they say, okay, she looked good. Okay, that's a plus. She talked good most of the time. Okay, that's a plus. But in her case, she wasn't talking good, right? She wasn't complimenting him at all, right? He was the one complimenting her. Then the next thing was, as she was saying that she, like we said, she said that, oh well, I'm open to receiving, but not to giving, right? Okay. Well then, hey, if you of that mindset, what benefit? Most men are gonna say, what benefit is that to me? I'm going to just be basically a worker bee, and for no pay. That's not what I want, right? I want to be getting something out of the relationship. I should be getting something out of it. Excuse me. I should be getting something out of it. But that's just his flow. Her flow was like a person that has been hurt a lot, like you said. Her flow was like very standoffish. You know, I know you're going to, as soon as you find out I'm a virgin, you're going to walk away. So I'm already standoffish. Well, if you're carrying yourself like that, a man gonna say, okay, well, I'm not gonna work to break down that wall. I'm gonna just work to get over the wall and come back. That's all, right? So I'm trying to give you women game so that you can win. At any man you meet, you can win. Any man you meet, you can have whatever type of situation you want, as long as you recognize what he wants, right? So. If you recognize that he doesn't want to be married or he doesn't want a long-term relationship, why would you want that with somebody that don't want that, right? You should be able to say, okay, well, this man don't want that. He look good. He's a very handsome man. You know, he got everything he wants, but he is emotionally unavailable. That's what I was trying to say about this sister. She was emotionally unavailable, in my opinion, right? She was just very standoffish, and he was complimenting her. And instead of saying, oh, thank you, I appreciate that, you know what I mean? You as well are a handsome man, and I'm attracted to you as well. You never heard her say none of that, right? Because she was too uptight over, dang, I'm going to have to tell him I'm a virgin sooner or later. I'm going to have to tell him sooner or later, and then he's probably going to roll.
Oh, wait a second, Brother Clarence. Okay, wait. Okay. I think I do that sometimes. Okay. I think I do that sometimes because I don't trust myself after the first compliment to him. Because like I know that my conversation can shift in a way that it's like, oh, you were misleading. I think I do that sometimes, Brother Clarence. Oh my God, I'm her. Wait a minute. No, I think that I don't know I don't know her, but I think that I've done that before because I've noticed that I've missed the opportunity. Because I feel like if I focus too much on physical stuff, I'm opening the door for that physical and intimate kind of conversations.
Yes.
So I almost like try to put brakes on it. Oh my gosh, it's me. I'm
Mhm.
6'6".
And see, we just having this conversation. We just having this conversation so that we can see what's going on out there, right? And you got somebody here that's gonna tell you up front, I love you. I'm gonna tell you up front
I
whether
appreciate
this is
it.
gonna work or not, right? In my opinion, this is well, let me put it like this. I'm gonna tell you my opinion. If this is gonna work or not, right? And so, see, and the only reason why I brought it up, sis, is because I know a lot of women do this. Because I know a lot of women been hurt. They've been hurt by men a lot. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And because all we've been taught as men is how to just dip in, get what we want, and get out. Who cares how she feel about it, right? So I know there's a lot of hurt women out there, man, where they've invested a lot of time and their feelings into something, and then what a lot of women do, I don't know if you've done this either, but a lot of women do is on their alone time, right? A woman be by herself. She might be at work or at school or whatever, but she by herself, right? She creates this whole world in her head, right? Well, we're married, we got these kids, and we got this house, and we got these men, and they only been on 2 dates, right? But then she got this whole world in her head, right? and then when the man say, "Oh, by the way, I got a girlfriend as well. I want you to be in my tribe," right? You say to him, "Man, you should have told me that up front. At least I would have had a chance to decide. Maybe I would have still rolled with you. But now I can't trust you because you didn't tell me up front, right?" So that's why I say I'm bringing a lot of this out, because I know a lot of sisters do this same stuff, sis. I know, you may not do exactly what she did or exactly, but a lot of the same issues are coming up in our sisterhood, and it's keeping us single, and not because, oh, we just, how can I say it? There's just so many bad men out there. There's a lot of bad men out there. I'm not gonna say that's not true, but it's more than that. Because I'm telling you, sis, I'm a dude, and I know a woman that's gonna stand out is a woman that has the femininity, but at the same time is moving a certain kind of way. That woman gonna stand out to me, right? So, and the most men. Now, the question you got to decide is, am I attracted to guys am I going to be attracted to guys that's interested in monogamous relationships? That's the hard part for women, because most guys
You said that are or are not?
That are. Guys that are interested in monogamous relationships are typically not the best looking men. The better looking men don't have to be they don't have to be interested in monogamous relationships. They don't have to. Women will still date them if they're monogamous or not. Same thing with men. Oh, go ahead, sis.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No. I was just saying, I know, like for me, I don't have a type. I can tell you what my type is. I think
Good looking.
have no, he definitely has to be attractive to me. But him being attractive to me, no, but men that like a lot of women see as like attractive, I see that they're handsome, but they're not attractive to me. Like what's his name? Shamar Moore. He's a handsome man. He's not attractive to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, I'm not attracted to him.
Why not?
But like you said, why
What's
not?
wrong with you? Why not?
No, it's not that no, I just said he's handsome. He's very handsome. I'm saying I'm just not attracted to him. I don't know why.
Not?
I don't
What's the matter with you?
I don't know. I'm just not. I think that I'm just not. But no,
you got a lot of money, Pagoda.
But like I because and I think I mentioned to you before about that when I was like a long time ago, when I saw this picture in a newspaper with this man who had just been enlisted in one of the military services, and the picture right beside him was a picture where he, I guess in one of his deployments or something, he got like a fourth degree burn. It was you couldn't even recognize that it was him. And I remember saying way back then, I don't know if I was in high school, it had to be high school. I said, when I get married, I want to love my husband the same way from this picture and this one. And when you love somebody like that, it cannot be just about looks. So I don't think that I've ever had like a type, because it has to be about how I feel when I'm with him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like how do I see the reflection of how I'm making him feel and how he's
Right.
making me feel, or inspiring me to feel. So I don't have a type. I want to definitely be in love, but I'm more attracted to like how he's mentally stimulating me. So gosh, I can't believe how long it's been since I dated. But no, this is really good information, because there's some things that I don't realize, and now just with you speaking, that I'm recognizing that I have not been fair, to a man or men that have had feelings for me. And some of it has been because I've not wanted to be misleading, and in that I've maybe distanced myself, and it looks like I'm wishy-washy. And it's understandable if that's what they perceive from it. They're not even wrong for it, because my actions look a certain way to them, but it's me dealing with something internally. So no, this conversation is really, like, we're talking about her, but it's helping me, and I'm hoping that it's helping somebody that's listening, because I'm just being honest. Like, I have probably been guilty of some of what she's doing, and now I'm hearing from you how it's being received, and that's not cute. So thank you.
Yeah. And I'm just say to tell you, wait for this man. He's gonna come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You just wait for this man come to you. But that's wrong. Not in this situation here.
Mm-hmm.
And so why? Right? In the church they used to say, oh, just wait. Just then he just waiting. The right man will find you, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this environment, you have to do some things. Now you have to be proactive, a little proactive. Why? Because the competition is so high out there. See, you could say that back in the day where there was not as many available women. Now there's so many available women because these women are not staying in these relationships, right? They leave in relationships, right? One skid bump, boom, they're out of here. Same thing with the men, right?
Mm-hmm.
One skid mark, boom, they're out of there, right? So people are leaving these relationships, but in particular the women are leaving these relationships. So it's so much more like back when we were coming up, even if your parents hit a skid bump, they'd stay together. You never knew about it. A lot of times you never knew about a lot of stuff that was going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But unless it just got ridiculous, got overwhelming, right? But most of the time, most of those speed bumps they hit, you didn't know nothing about them, right?
Right.
Because people would just automatically, we stand together. We got married, okay. So you did this, okay. At a certain point, we're going to try and move past it, right? But today's relationships are not like that, right? One false move, the woman's gone. One false move, the man's gone. So you got much more competition out there in the marketplace now. As a woman, especially, you got much more competition out there. So now, instead of there was a time where you could go to church, you could find a good dude in the church. It'd be a good dude sitting there in the church, single. As much they have a crew of single dudes in the church, and you just got to select one and start baking him some pies and leaving. I just brought this pie for you, brother. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I made it just for you. Man, I'm telling y'all how to win. I'm telling y'all how to win, man. I'm telling you. Because, man, let me tell you something. I don't care, man. Let me tell you. Once you, y'all think sex is what actually keeps a man. It is not. It's the way to a man. Your grandmama was right. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. But that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, so now you're not in a position where good men are actually out there looking for women. Now, good men are inundated by all these other type of women, and they succumb to these women. Now you have to place yourself and put yourself in an environment where good men will typically be, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're typically going to be at places where codes of conduct are going to be encouraged. Church, mosque, temple, like I said, the golf course, places where there's going to be codes of conduct. The best, I mean, a good place to meet men is the golf course. That is a great place to meet men, and very upwardly mobile men is on the golf course, right? You go to the little learning tee and hit the ball.
Driving range.
Yeah, there you go, sis. The driving range, right? You hit. Everybody's at the driving range hitting the ball, right? And you just wear something pink and go out there, man. I'm telling you, man, you have cats all over you, right? All over you, right? Doctors, lawyers, and everything else, right? The dudes that's trying to move up in the company, whatever, they're trying to learn how to golf so they can go out on these golfing outings, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what do I know? I used to.
All right, let me give me some golf shoes.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, that's if you're looking for people that may be interested in more serious types of relationships, because they got their life in order. They're trying to put their life in order, and they're looking for a good woman that can assist in that situation. You go to the club, those guys are not looking for somebody to assist them in putting their life together, right? They just want to hit and run. So it's going to be difficult to try to find guys there. My thing is, if you're really looking for a relationship, a good relationship, you got, as a woman, nowadays, it was a time where you could just walk into the church, you could walk into the mosque, there's a group of single dudes, you pick one and you say, okay, I'm going to have that dude trying to court me by the end of the month. So you start bringing them pies, you start bringing them some fried chicken, right? You start bringing them food, right? Just to get in the door. Brother, we had a little leftover at my house, and I thought about you because you're a single guy. Here, why don't you take this? He eat that chicken, man. He be thinking about you the whole night, right? You know, that's a good woman. Annie is a good woman, right? But that's the game. Because I've been in the mosque since 1991. I done seen women get married using the same tactic, right? I remember I going to FOI meetings and women would say, can you give this to brother so-and-so? It'd be bean soup, bean pies, whatever, right? It'd be whatever. They say, can you give this to, I be doing security on the door or something. They say, hey, can you give this to brother so-and-so and tell him it's from me? I'd be like, who are you? Hey, I'm so-and-so, right? If I didn't know the sister, right? So who are you, sis? I'm sister so-and-so. Tell them it's from me. I'll be like, man, you know, but guess what? I saw 2 or 3 brothers get married like that because the sister just kept coming. She just kept coming with pies and soup and everything. She just kept coming. So that's what men are looking for, is they're looking for women that can assist them in bringing some, in setting the kind of lifestyle they want, so that they can move forward and they don't have to worry about, oh, how's my house gonna run? Now, there's a lot of dudes out there that just want to, they making money. They feel like, I'm a high value man. I don't need no woman. I just want to, run around. But there's a lot of guys that's really looking for women. Now, the question is, Sister Annie, what do you do when a good guy, because this is the trouble I think I see a lot of women have. What do you do when a good man for you is not that attractive to you, is not attractive, physically attractive? What do you do? Do you just walk away, or do you say, you know what? Let me try to get him some better clothes. Let me try to get him some, a better what do you call that, hygiene system here. What do you do, or do you just walk away? How would you handle that situation?
Well, if I'm going out with him, something about him is attractive to me. Now you
you're not going out with him yet.
Okay. Well, if I've seen him, or at least got some inkling of what he looks like, but I would say, so to me, things that are able to be changed are workable.
Okay.
So when you just mentioned like hygiene, do you want someone that comes prepackaged with the understanding of hygiene? Yes. If we are honest about how people have been raised and how people are, does everyone have the best hygiene habits? Some don't. right? If you do have good hygiene habits and you're patient, that's workable. You know what I'm saying? You can teach
Mm-hmm.
someone to, brush their hair
Mm-hmm.
more often, to bathe when they've come out, when they've been out in the sun, because that thing is kind of
Uh-huh.
smelly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that's not their fault. It's just when you come in, I have a really hypersensitive smell, so I smell stuff. And no, but I'm saying is, like, you can smell like the sun, and like, say if I was married. Now, if I'm married and you smell like the sun, that's not a turn off to me. I'm still gonna want you to go bathe, but
Right.
whatever. So if it's something that's workable, if it's something that a person is open and willing to change, or to be inspired by or taught by you, I don't see an issue with being taught. I don't care how old I am. I don't care what somebody thinks that I should know. If I don't know it, I just don't know it. I don't have the habit yet. So like, I'll be honest, my car before, it was just kind of functional for me. So I would have water bottles in the in the back, and and sometimes, like I just looked at my car today when I went out, and a bird make a stink on my car. I need to go ahead and wash it, because I thought I heard that, like, if you leave it up there, it can kind of do something to your paint.
Yeah,
So a
definitely.
guy may look at me and say, "Ah, man, look how messy she keep on her car. She don't even, she got the bugs, the splattered bugs still up there." Well, he can teach me. He can teach me why that's harmful to my vehicle. Work with me, maybe go with me to the car wash. If it's where we do a hand wash, he drives with me there, sits with me while I wait, so he conditions me to the time it takes. The effort you got to make.
Mm-hmm.
I want a man to just be patient with teaching me. I can be taught.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say. So like I said, I'm probably not the best person to ask the question, because I think that, yes, I want to be attracted, but I also know a lot of things can happen. If I'm attracted to his physique, and then he becomes overwhelmed, and now it becomes, not the same toneness that I was used to. What am I going to not be attracted now? I'm
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm going to be encouraging, "Hey, let's go walk. Hey, let's go do something." So we got to be willing to work with each other. We can't just keep stepping on people's necks when they don't know something. They just don't know it. You don't know. There's a lot of stuff I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that when I start dating, that the guy is going to say, "Wait, did your mom not teach you?" No, maybe she did, maybe she didn't. Maybe she did, and I've gotten lazy with it. Whatever it is, if you're not patient with me at the beginning, you'll probably not be patient with me as you start understanding, and some certain things will be revealed. So I definitely need a man with patience. That's why, like, when I said walk away, it's not easy for me to just walk away. That's why I probably have such a guard up, because it's hard to just, like, step away from, especially when I have feelings. But I just believe that we all need some help in some areas. And just because the man that I'm interested in may need more help in this particular area, it doesn't make me better. It just means that this area is one that I have a vantage point. So I I wouldn't just walk away. I would not just walk away
Mm-hmm.
for something like that. If I'm talking to him, something is attracting me. I'm
Right.
attracted somewhere. So.
Right. Well, see, this is the thing. I think a lot of women miss out on good dudes because they're not attracted to them because they're attracted to the swag, right? They want somebody with swag. So if this person don't have swag, they just a regular dude, hardworking cat, just goes to work and is about his business. And he says, "Well, I'm at a point in my life where I got things going in a certain direction, and it has a certain momentum. So
Mhm.
now I feel comfortable enough to actually start dating out there and try to find that woman. But he's dating for a different purpose than the average dude. Is he's dating because he's trying to find that special person that he can share his life with. The
Mhm.
problem is the pool of women that he's going to be trying to date from might not find him as attractive as these other guys, right? And
Mhm.
that's the problem. I think a lot of women discount guys that are maybe not as attractive as these quote unquote high value or whatever men, and they lose out because they want somebody who got street swag and all of that, and this guy might not have that. And so,
Well, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
well, let me just finish to say this.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those type of guys get converted into passport bros, or they get converted into dating women of other nationalities and races, not because that was their chief choice, but because the sisterhood doesn't find them attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the sisterhood finally says, you know, I'm looking for somebody who got some sense, when they finally check back into that situation, they a lot of times they have maybe children, maybe some debt, maybe some issues going on that the guy is saying, well, hey, you know what, I don't want to deal with that. You know, I don't want to deal with that now, so I'll just go be with somebody else of another race, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though they be with women of other races, right? Because other women of other race got issues too, right? They got children and all this stuff. But the difference is, I think sometimes, you know, depending on the woman. Now, this could be any race of woman, but depending on the race of woman, you got to understand the psychology of men so that you can be more successful. And I think women in certain races are more sensitive to male psychology. Whereas I think a lot of our sisters in the Black community went down the path of feminism, and they said, well, you know, to be actually single and to be free, I have to be this type of person where I'm matching this male energy. And they don't understand that men don't want to be around men. Men want to be around women. That's what I see. But I want you to go ahead and finish what you were saying. Shout out to Brother Bolo. Appreciate you. I forgot to send him a link too.
I've never adopted that when I would hear a lot of people talking about the high value man. A resourceful man is more of a benefit to me than what I hear about a high value man. Because if you think about it, so let's say if a man is making six figures is at a moment, right? So if he's not doing something to sustain that income, then he's not always a six-figure man. And is that six figures after taxes? Is that six figures with an investment in something that's still producing income? You know what I'm saying? So like, then it gets all busy like that. A resourceful man is going to be a man, at least in my opinion, that regardless of what is going on with their finances, they're going to find a way to make sure that they're able to take care of the things that they need to take care of. So if they at the time do not have the finances to, buy a certain thing or hire someone to come do a certain service, they'll maybe look on YouTube and figure out how to do it themselves. I need a man like that. I need a man that says, regardless of what it is that we're dealing with right now, I'm going to make sure that we're taken care of. And I'm going to trust that. So I want a resourceful man that is able to, I want him to be confident in whatever figure job he's making. I want him to know that with me by his side, he's going to be different. He's going to be better. We're going to have more, because if I'm not there adding something to him, I am a waste to him, so I am going to see where he is and figure out a way to make him more, not a better person, just his decisions, the things that whatever his mission, his purpose is, I'm supposed to be adding to that. So he's going to always do better than what he was doing before he met me, when he's with me, because I'm going to always want that for him.
Okay.
So,
but I got a quick question. Shout out to Bolo, by the way. But I got a quick question for you, sis.
Okay.
How are you going to evaluate whether this is the kind of man that you're talking about, right? Where he's going to be hardworking and he's going to take care of stuff around the house. How would you evaluate that in the dating in the dating situation?
I guess it's like, I like to pay attention to people. You know, I'm trying to think of an example at a date. So like if we're out and I don't know, I'm trying to think of a scenario where I can say that I would notice something in a small sense. I think that like we condition ourselves from small things and they show up in big things where other people can see. If I see a man getting frantic and not thinking of audible plays when something is happening, if we're on a date and a plan that he had and something happens, it rains and we can't do it, and now he thinks the whole night is destroyed. That's a sign of something, right? Because then what I want him to be able to do is say, oh man, it rained, we couldn't do it here, or we couldn't do this. You know what, here's something else that we can do. So to me, that's a man that is showing that he knows how to work around things not always going the way exactly as planned, because things won't always go as planned. So little things like that I'll pay attention to. I'll pay, like I said, the patience thing is big to me. So I'll monitor how patient he is with me. I'll monitor how patient he is with other people. When it comes to a man, I like to see how he treats his mom. I like to see
point.
I like to see what's his fellowship, like how does he honor God each day? How does he treat his family? If he has kids, I pay attention to that. So when I'm watching how he's moving in other spaces, it's indicative of how he'll move in larger spaces, how he'll react in larger spaces. These are small examples or intimate spaces where I can see how he would handle himself under pressure. So that's what I mean, because you don't know for sure. And even with me watching that, there's still no guarantee that he's going to be exactly how maybe I would think or would want him to respond or react in a bigger situation. But at least I know that he's tried his best with with who he was. So life happens to all of us. I'm not expecting anybody to make perfect decisions all the time. I'm not making perfect decisions all the time. So for me to now place this, hey, you better not fail, and if you do fail, you better pick us back up in 10 seconds. No, I want it to be where, like, if he makes a decision and that decision does not prove to be fruitful, that he gets some more seeds and we start planting again. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm going to support. That's what I'm going to encourage. That's what I'm going to water,
Okay. All right. I just want to know. I just want to ask a question. Let me bring Bolo into the conversation. Brother Bolo, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, I'm good. How you? Hey, sister Nay. Hey, big brother. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Good, man. How'd you hear? What's going on with you, man? Great show last night. Great radio show last night, man.
You see, they cut us off, though, right?
Oh, no, I didn't see it because I had to go.
Lord gave us 2 hours and 14 minutes, so I'm not complaining. They shut us down. 2 hours and 15 minutes in, so I ain't gonna complain. We came back in and played one more song and then called it a night. We ended up finishing probably, I think, close to 2 o'clock, almost 3. So, yeah, we had good fun.
Yeah, my time, yeah.
Yeah. How you guys doing? I like that breakdown you gave, Renee. That breakdown you gave was fire. It's fire.
Well, let me tell you
up here pulling my card.
Let me tell you what we're talking about. Let me tell you what we're talking about, Bolo. So what we were talking about is there's on the TLC channel, there's this sister that's 6'6" that was having trouble in her dating life.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen it.
Okay, right. So the question was,
and she was a virgin, right? She was a virgin.
Correct.
Yeah, I seen that.
So the question was, is it because she's 6'6"? Is it because she's a virgin? And so we just discussing different things that might have been an issue. But I'm telling you, man, I got a whole nother topic I got to get to. These are people this is the home team that got the links now. I'm going to put the link out, but I got to talk about this other topic first. We're still finishing up on the dating issue. So just hang tight, Pagoda. Just hang tight. All right. So what is your opinion on that, man?
Well, pertaining to that video, that show, I seen when she dated that light skinned cat.
Yeah.
The one that was shorter when they went for the cooking wine and
We
all that.
vibing. We got a good chemistry. Everything is
Right,
good.
right. Everything was good. So I don't think it was her height. You know what I'm saying? It really was the virgin thing. You know
You
what I'm
think that
saying?
was
These absolutely, because when they were going home, remember when he was dropping her off at the crib, and she had said, he said to her, the night doesn't have to end. Can we come? Can I come up? And she
yeah.
was like, well, yeah, you could come up, but I'm letting you know right now, ain't nothing gonna happen. I'm a virgin. And she had to explain that to him about 2 or 3 times. And then at that point, he was like, you know what? You have a good night. You know what I'm saying? I'm out. So it wasn't her height. It's just where he was at in his life. He's still in
Right.
that player mode, and she knows what her worth is. And that's the beauty of it, right?
Right.
It's a letdown. It may hurt, but at the end of the day, don't compromise your self worth, your value.
Agreed. Agreed.
Just because a man, just because you might have a man of a high value man, doesn't make him a man of high value.
Now here's the
So
question, Bolo. Bolo,
yes,
here's the question. Because I'm asking this question.
okay.
I think she should have made that plain from the very first time she started speaking with him. That was the question. So, some people say,
Well,
no, you should wait, or you should talk. But I think something like that, you should say up front before you even go on a date. That way the man doesn't go all the way on a date with you and go out and keep going, in my opinion. What is your
well,
opinion on that?
that's damn man. You be asking these hard questions, man. I think I okay. Coming from you want the person to know you. You dig what I'm saying? You
Agreed.
don't want the first thing to come up. Like if a woman first comes, I can understand the frustration in a woman's mind of saying, if she's a virgin, saying, okay, listen, ain't none of this gonna happen if this is what you think is gonna happen at the end of the day.
Okay.
You can open, you have the potential of opening up a door that he may not have been thinking. Right. So I think that you let the day go on and kind of play it by ear. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, he seemed like a cool dude, but he was faking the funk. He was fronting. He wanted to get upstairs. That's what he was doing. He wanted to get upstairs. So anything that she would have wanted to do, he would have done. If she wanted to go hand gliding, if she wanted to bungee jump off the
Agreed.
Eiffel Tower, he would have did it. Because at the end of the day, he's thinking that if he can be anything and everything that she wants, not sincerely, he can get into them drawers. And the beauty of what she did is she saw past that. You dig what I'm saying? She was like, dude,
Agreed.
ain't none of that happening. We may be able to kiss or whatever, but he didn't even go, and it goes to show you how much of a dirtbag that dude was. He didn't even go. I'm just saying, because at the end of the day, right? If I say to you, listen, man, we're going out and all we spending is $50. We don't know what's going to happen at the end of the night. I may see something that I might want to spend another $50 on. We don't know what's going to happen, right? So
Okay.
we go by the chemistry and how the vibration moves. This dude was like, he wanted her to be a straight out whore. That's basically what he wanted her to be. Because at the end of the day, she said, yo, listen, you don't know where it can go. We can kiss or whatever. Duke wanted to know if we gonna smash.
Yeah.
And when she was like, nah, Duke was like, well, listen, you have a good day.
Yeah.
And listen, I commend him on that. I commend him for not wasting her time and not wasting his. But at the end of the day, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Well, one thing that she said during their date, like when she used the word sexy, and like I was telling Brother Clarence, sometimes, and because I've been guilty of this myself, like, maybe intentionally, unintentionally, subconsciously, or whatever, you say something that is actually something that could give the impression that you're okay with something.
Yes.
So it could be misleading to the guy. So he may have, because when you use the words like sexy, it
Right.
instinctively makes people think of things. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Either
You're
being sexual with
absolutely
someone
right.
or whatever. So she could have like kind of opened the door somewhere that she intentionally, remember Brother Clarence, like what I was saying, sometimes, you know, you just want to open it just enough to let the aroma out, but you didn't realize that
Nah.
he was going to
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's
But
where
you know
y'all go
something,
wrong
Anae?
at.
Anae, the point that you just made was absolutely correct.
Absolutely.
She didn't do that in the little 15-minute, 10-minute clip on the date with that dude. Because all I saw was a date with him. She didn't do that. She didn't allude to any,
No, she did. She said,
did she? What did she
that's
say?
sexy. When she said that, Brother Clarence?
Well, what happened was he was trying to build up the sexual tension.
Right.
And instead of her saying, well, brother, you know, this is because this is what I had a problem with. Instead of her saying at that point saying, hey, brother, I'm really flattered by what you're saying. But I think I ought to tell you, man, that you know, this is my stance on sex at this point. So I don't know if that's going to alter the situation, but let me just let you know right there, because he was obviously, but instead of, in my opinion, she should have stopped him or let him know that he's wasting his time ramping up sexual tension, right? He's wasting his time because he's not going to get anywhere with that. So why not tell the man up front, hey, this is, because Bolo, let me ask you the same question I asked Sister Annie.
What's that?
Let's say he was married.
Okay.
When should he have told her he's married and he's got a wife and children at home? The first conversation or 5 days later?
What do you mean? He shouldn't even be on the date. What are you talking about? Well, that's a trick question, man. You trying to get? He shouldn't even be on the date, my G.
That's my point, though. See, so that's.
But what I'm saying is, but that's different circumstances, though. That's different circumstances because it's different circumstances because I'll tell you how. Because at the end of the day, he's playing checkers and she's playing chess. Okay, she's trying to see where this can go, and she's looking at, because remember when she was talking to her girlfriends, she was saying, "I'm very frustrated. I'm very frustrated where I'm at. I'm this age. I don't have a man. I'm looking for something serious or whatever." So at the end of the day, she's trying not to offend. She's doing everything in her power not to offend. So she's walking on, thin ice with these men that she's going out with. You know what I'm saying? So that was her perspective on it. So I get your point that she should have just said, "Duke, listen, man, I see these innuendos that you're throwing at me, and I'm letting you know, if you're thinking that tonight's going to end up in sex, it's not." You dig what I'm saying? But what she was saying is she is so frustrated not being able, once they find out that she's a virgin, that they shut down. So she wanted to push herself first. She wanted the man to like her.
I know.
So that when it gets to that point of saying I'm a virgin, he's already in awe of who she is as a woman, that doesn't matter, if that makes sense.
It does. And Sister Annie was saying the same thing. I agree with that. However, I agree that's what her what her position was. And I understand that. But what I'm saying is, but you have to understand the pool of people that you're pulling from, they're most likely interested in having sex at some point, right? So if that's the pool that you're fishing from, then not letting them know that that's not going to happen as soon as possible
is a waste of time.
It seems like a bait and switch, right?
I agree.
Because I'm letting you build up all this sexual tension, right? And then at some point when you you pull me on the carpet for it. Hey, let me come up to your place. I want to have some coffee, right? Whatever they say to get up here. And so you get in there, right? And she goes, "Oh no, we can't have coffee tonight." Why not? Did I tell you I was a virgin? Right?
Right.
But you don't want to find that out. This is my opinion. We all entitled to our opinions, right? But I'm telling you, in my opinion, I would like to know first, hey, you a virgin. Then I can decide, okay, you're a virgin, cool. I can still go out with you, still have a good time. But now I know the pressure is off for me to even be trying to get something from you. Yeah, you're right. But
I agree.
Okay, so this dude, he was saying from the, you watch the thing, Bolo, he was saying from the beginning, she's a challenge.
Right.
We're vibing. We got chemistry. This is
Right.
all the signals. This is all signals that people looking to have sex say.
Right. But see, you know what it was with her?
Say that stuff, huh?
Where she messed up. How did she meet Duke? Let me ask, is it on an app?
I believe it was. Now, I'm not sure, but I believe
right.
It was
I think it was an app too. So again, what you just said is paramount. The pool that you're pulling from dictates how you move. You dig what I'm saying? If I'm going to a strip club, I'm gonna move accordingly. If I'm going to a lounge, I'm gonna move accordingly. So if she's just pulling from, an app, typically, not all, we can't, say everybody, but them dudes, the app is so what's the word I'm looking for? Impersonal.
Right.
It's so impersonal. You don't get to know the person. You don't see how that person approaches you. Like Sister Anae can be shopping or going to the grocery store, and a gentleman approaches her real gentlemanly like. You know what I'm saying? And that right there can set up the stage on how she reacts or responds to how he encountered her. When you're dealing with an app, all of that's done.
Right.
You're taking all of that and you're putting you're moving 5 steps ahead, opposed to the 5 steps where there was some crucial information that you could have gotten to know how to move with this guy or gal. So when you're automatically in a date, I don't know what you like. I don't know what books you've read. I don't know what God you worship. I don't know none of those things if we don't have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? So the app makes things so impersonal, and it puts you at a point where, you've done skip. There's so many lessons that you could have learned and you miss it, right? That's like going for a driver's test and you never took driving courses.
Right.
Like there's so many small little things that you can learn and experiences that you can learn from the experiences of it, opposed to reading it from a book. And all you're reading from all you're reading from his app is the things he's telling you. And a lot of the times, we say all the time, we always say this, listen to what people don't say opposed to what they're saying. So when you're actually talking to that man or talking to that woman, you can actually see the real. Are they looking at you in your eyes? What's their body motion moving like? You skip all of that when you jump on a date. You don't know if there's 8 bodies in the basement and you going out with them. So you don't know anything. So this technology thing makes things so impersonal, and people think that they're a match for each other because paper says that, statistics. Listen, here in Brooklyn, the New York Nets had the perfect team on paper. But what were they? They were garbage in real life. They were all spectacular players, but they couldn't play together. You dig what I'm saying? So paper doesn't say everything, opposed to you actually getting into the field and feeling the dirt and putting your feet in the grass and actually, being in it. So I think that's where she messed up. I agree with you totally. From where she is pulling from, she's on an app. Women need to understand the same way men need to understand. Things don't change. And I think that's the problem. We got to get to know each other. We got to sit down and have conversations with each other. We got to sit down and make jokes with each other and see what you like and what you don't like. There's no perfect person out there for you. You make them perfect. How does the app do that?
Yeah.
How does the app do that? So I think that's where she messed up.
Let me ask you guys a question, and I want both of you guys to answer the question. All right, so now let's say he met her. We don't have that information, but let's just assume that they met on the app, right? We can tell kind of why they didn't have a really good knowledge of each other, but just by the way they were kind of awkward with each other. So let's just assume that they met on an app. Now, if you meet somebody on an app, shouldn't I would think that you should have a couple of phone conversations before you meet in person to even qualify whether you even should meet in person, right? I would think that would be the purpose of the phone call, right? The phone calls, you get enough information to get some kind of feel about their personality and lifestyle so that you can say, well, okay, well, let me give this person a shot, right? Because like you said, Bolo, if you meet somebody in the store, you can kind of see, you see what kind of stuff that's going in their basket, right? Oh, there's Sister Annie, and she's putting food in the basket. She at least you ain't gonna go hungry over her house, right? Or you see Sister Annie's basket, right? And it's magnums stacked all the way up here, right? You go, wait a minute, right? But you're not gonna see that Sister Annie. But I'm just saying, right? You see a sister and she has food and different items in her basket that you could say, okay, yeah, this sister, she's on top of it. She cooks, right?
Right.
As opposed to when you see her in the store, all she got is hair grease and some makeup or something. But she got food in her bag. And it's food that you have to cook. It's not processed all the way. You got to cook it. Okay.
Right.
But it maybe this is a winner here. And then you start talking to her. Hey, sis, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. I'm just, here. I'm buying something because I want to make something. I want to make sure I take care of food for the week. Oh, this might be a good one. So my question to y'all is the phone call, should we qualify the person with, is it the phone call for qualifying whether you should go on the date in the first place?
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. And like when we were talking earlier, I think during the phone conversation is the time that I would have mentioned, about me being active or not active. So yeah, I would want to bring out some things that could potentially be, and I'm using air quotes, deal breakers for a man. So I would want him to have the benefit of knowing or having access to that information so he could decide, because there's no need to waste either one of our time. We can enjoy talking on the phone, but if that's as far as it would go, because the ways that we are different or that we're not on the same path, it wouldn't produce a relationship from there. So no, I totally agree.
I concur. Conversation. The Lord tells you that the mouth expresses what's in the heart, right? And he also tells you it's not what goes in a man that defiles him, it's what comes out. Because anything that goes in gets destroyed by the stomach. But what comes out is the intentions of that man or woman's heart. So conversation is very important. Conversation is so important. So yes, if I see your picture, I already know I'm attracted to you. So there's no need for me to continue looking at you. I already know I want you. You get what I'm saying? Physically. Now it's about me trying to get to know who you are spiritually, emotionally, and mentally to see if those things will work. And again, it goes into where that man or woman is in their life. So having a conversation with them, like Sister May said, it will either, exclude them or it will build them up. So I agree with the total.
Where you at, Bolo, man? Are you a cop? Are you a paramedic or something? I see somebody on the radio, man, like one of them 12.
No. I'm in the back. I'm on my deck right now, and my son is listening to YouTube, and my wife is doing yard work.
We need you to respond, Bolo. One of them 12. One of them 12. We need to get this guy to Rampart.
Is that too much noise? I can go someplace quieter if it's too noisy.
I'm teasing you, brother. I'm teasing you. You're good. All right. What we gonna do, y'all? Let's invite the family in. I know I had another topic, right? But I'm gonna have to attack that on Tuesday because I don't have enough time to get to it today. We already at 3 hours. I got 1 more hour.
Sorry about that.
No. It's good. It's good. See how the conversation starts growing organically. That's good. Me and Bolo, we understand that sometimes you're going to have a show and somebody come up, you about to close out, and then somebody comes up and the conversation grows organically. And then next thing you know, bam, you did another 2 hours, right?
Absolutely. So, that happens all the time.
Yeah, it happens.
A nation know. How many times a day have you said we going to close out? And then Sweatbread comes up on stage and asks a question about the universe, and we're on for another 4 hours.
Yeah, I done seen that a bunch of times on The Village, right? Okay, y'all, we're gonna close out in just a minute. I was like, oh, okay, well, let me go. And then I come back and it's 2 hours later. Man, I missed 2 hours. Oh man, I didn't know you guys.
Sweat brother Joseph. Sweat brother Joseph for coming with a question, and it just doesn't feel right not to be able to answer the question or to the ability, and not have the conversation. And then from having the conversation, you learn so much from the conversation. So it's an awesome thing. And at the end of the day, you're like, damn, I'm glad we didn't end. So conversation is important. It's very important, like you and Anae said. It's very.
Okay. And so that's my point, y'all. So if they probably had at least one conversation, maybe two, before they actually met in person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't she tell her? And I remember what you said, Bolo. She wants him to get to know her for her, right? But that shouldn't be something that's not something that she can control. I don't think that. I think that you have to be, that's like me. I'm saying, I say, hey, I'm married, but I'm going to go out with Sister Annie. And then I'm not going to tell her that I'm married and got kids at home, right? Wife and children at home until the 5th date. And she say, hey, I looked you up on Google, brother. You got a wife and kids, right? And then I say, well, I wanted you to like me first, because I wanted you to be okay with that. I wanted you to like me enough that you were going to be okay with that. That's why I held that back from you, right? And so she's obviously going to be upset over that, right? She's going to say, why didn't you tell me that up front? I could have chose. Maybe I would have said, okay, Karen, that's cool. I'll be the side piece. Put me in, sign me up, right? I could have I might have made that decision, right? But at least I would have it would have been my decision to make. You took it from me. You took that ability to make that decision from me. Now I can't trust you, Claire. I can't trust you. Even though I like you, we having fun and everything, I can't trust you, right? So I'm saying the same thing in this situation where she held this back, that she could have been, the guy would have been like, hey, I can't trust you. It's not because you 6'6". It's not because you a virgin. It's because the way you did this, the way you set it up,
Mm-hmm.
because I've been throwing sexual innuendo at you all night.
Mm-hmm.
You had plenty of chances to tell me, bro, you just spinning your wheels, right? you know you're just spinning your wheels, right?
Well, you know what it is? You know what it is too, Brother Clarence, you got to throw in there too. Cognitive thought is based off logic, and fearful thought is based off. She was fearful.
Say that again, brother. Say that again. We didn't hear you.
Cognitive thought is based on logic mostly, and fearful thought is based on emotion. So her whole thing was based off of fear of someone not liking her for who she is. Exactly. So that's why she moved the way she moved, because of the fear that she had of someone being, not wanting her for her, but just wanting her for sex. To be conqueror. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying she was right in doing what she did. I'm just saying that's what drove her, instead of her just being straight up, because I think that's a waste of time. And we talk about this all the time, right? The one thing I can't get back is time. I can't get that back. So maybe if she would have led with that will weed out the weasels, opposed to the Prince Charmings. Because the Prince Charmings are going to be like, okay, I'm good with that. The weasels are going to be just like he was at the end of the day. Nah, I'm good, Ma. Have a good night. I hope you find what you're looking for. So, yeah. You have a very good point.